Hi guys, welcome to Film Companion South. I am Vishal and in today's episode of Now Bingeing, I'm going to recommend 5 sports films that will help you get ready for the IPL season. We've not seen a time before this where we've had to completely shut down an aspect of ourselves that has been a part of us since our growing up years. From waking up early to staying up at night to watch matches, we now have to come to terms with a new normal where matches are being played in completely empty stadiums. If you're a cricket fan, we've had all of 4 or 5 tournaments this year, none of which had India playing to keep things interesting. And like a lot of us, I too have been YouTubing old match highlights to find some form of excitement just so we can be prepared for the IPL season. But if you're tired of watching old YouTube videos from the time when Sadaguban Ramesh was India's opening batsman, or if you're sick of mimicking Paul Adams' bowling action, here's a list of movies available on Netflix to get the adrenaline flowing. Let's start with Will Smith's 2001 Muhammad Ali biopic Ali. Directed by Michael Mann, the man who made films like Heat and Public Enemies, Ali was a box office bomb. But what I really like about this film is how it gets into the mind of this legend. It's not about the big matchups he won or his big boxing triumphs. His politics, his conversion to Islam, his failed marriage, his affairs, everything is covered to give us a real bleak picture of the man that became a legend. Its opening stretch is one of my favorites. We see the real Ali in all his silence, and in a second we see him transform into the performance of Ali that made him a world superstar. A really inspirational film I finally got around to watching now is Budhya Singh Born to Run. It's another real life story about a boy from Odisha named Budhya Singh who started running marathons when he was just 5. Co-starring Manoj Bajpayee in a great role, he plays a judo teacher who looks after Budhya after his family falls into bad times. The scene where Budhya is punished for abusing a classmate is a real highlight, especially when his coach forgets to ask him to stop running for an entire day. Next is Coach Carter, another one of my favorites. Starring Samuel L. Jackson playing real-life basketball coach Ken Carter, this is one of those rare sports films that make the point that there are many other matters in life that are more important than the sport in question. Actually, it's a sports film that doesn't even emphasize the need to win at all costs. Like in most team sports movies, we get great subplots too, with each player getting their fair share of drama. It might seem formulaic in places, but it's still very enjoyable. If you're in the mood for a good sports documentary, then I recommend you watch The Short Game, about a bunch of really young golfers from around the world as they're getting ready for a world championship. More than anything, it's a fun documentary that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's loaded with cuteness and you'll really enjoy the interviews with these young golfers and the conversations they have with their parents. Lastly, I'll recommend Moneyball, the modern classic starring Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, which I'm sure most of you have already seen. This again is fascinating because it's not a film about assembling a great team, with the most of the second half focusing on how hard they work to win big. It has more to do with smart work and a concept called sabermetrics, when the calculations of a mathematician is used to come up with the best baseball team possible. Apart from these 5, I would also recommend films like Million Dollar Baby, Invictus, Southpaw and a series called Glow, all of which are available on Netflix. Watch these and tell us what you think in the comment section. That's all for this episode of Now Binging. If you like this video, please practice Paul Adams' bowling action and also subscribe to our channel.